Hello, I am Nucleo Patra. My boy name is Lamarr Townsend, and I am here to review episode 6 of RuPaul's Canada's Drag Race Season 3. Thank you for listening and watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to this YouTube channel. I do also have a main channel. I am also a psychic, an energy channeler, a tarot reader, and an astrologer, as well as a drag queen. So make sure that you also subscribe to my main channel if you're into that kind of thing. Alright. I went live earlier and I did a psychic reading on Kanye West. So definitely subscribe to my Lamarr Townsend Tarot channel, which is my main channel. Also follow me on Instagram as well, Lamarr Townsend Tarot. And if you would like a personal reading or anything like that, definitely check out my website, LamarrTownsendTarot.com. You can check out my Twitch where I do monthly horoscope readings, become a member of my Patreon as well. Check out my podcast on Spotify, Google, Anchor. Go down and read the reviews from people who have purchased readings from me. And also, once again, follow me on Instagram and Facebook where I do post drag content as well. And if you would like a reading from me, just go right to the store section. This is where you can go to view all the rates, services, products, classes, candles, and all different types of things that I do offer. I do birth chart readings, psychic tarot readings, past life readings, mediumship readings, spiritual development classes, astrology classes, tarot classes, dream interpretation readings. I do candles and so much more. There's a price point for everyone. I do email readings, phone readings, and all different types of readings. And I also sell African black soap, which is the soap I use on my skin. So a lot of people want to know what I use on my skin. I use African black soap, and I sell it on my website too. So she's a businesswoman. Okay, so yes, make sure you check that out. So we're on episode 6, and first of all, I can't believe that we're already on episode 6. This season seems to be going by so fast. I have a Wow Presents Plus subscription, so that's how I view RuPaul's Drag Race Canada. And I noticed that season 1 they had only had 10 episodes. In season 2 they only had 10 episodes. So I can only assume, unless they have a bigger budget this season, I can only assume season 3 is going to have 10 episodes only. Which means that we probably only have 4 more episodes after this. And I believe I'm a little late on episode 6, to be honest with you. I'm almost a darn week late, but I took a vacation off from streaming and posting content because I just needed a break. I'm a workhorse. I'm a Capricorn, Virgo, Libra combination. So I took a break. A new episode I think actually comes out tonight, which is episode 7. So I think I may stay in drag and, I may just put on a different wig, or we'll see. But yeah, a new episode's coming out tonight. So sorry for those of you who do enjoy these videos. I know some of you do enjoy them. Sorry for being a little late. Anyways, I digress. So we're on episode 6. This episode kind of gooped and gagged me, to be honest. We'll get to it, towards the end. It was just very, very unexpected outcome here. Alright, you guys, so let's get into it. So we start the episode out with a recap of last week, episode 5. So last week in episode 5, Gisèle won the Maxi Challenge, which was the Snatch Game episode. So Gisèle won Snatch Game. We talked about that last week. She wasn't my personal favorite, but I could see how she did win. She kind of did steal the show. Kimmy Couture sent Lady Boom Boom home. Really sad to see Lady Boom Boom. And to be honest with you, her not being there, her presence was missed this episode, in episode 6. You could feel her presence missed, which doesn't always happen with all the girls, no shade. Alright, so we enter the workroom. So we enter the workroom, and these are the same outfits from last week. So the girls come in, this is, them talking, from last week, or, from the end of episode, or the end of last week's episode. Gisèle says she's gonna miss Lady Boom Boom, and I was like, I am too. Gisèle was really kind of upset, and I understood because they're both kind of French. They have this kind of French connection. I always say, they have very thick French accents, which I love, but sometimes I feel like it's hard to understand them, not just in terms of their accents, but just in terms of how things translate sometimes. So, but Giselle can hold her own. But yeah, I was like, I do miss Boom. So the girls congratulate Kimmy for slaying the lip sync though against Lady Boom Boom. She did slay the lip sync, and I said, Kimmy Couture can dance the house down. So Kimmy therefore vows, and Kimmy is the one at the very end, with the white hair. All right, opposite Jada, who also has white hair, and but not the brown skin one, the one on the other end. All right, so Kimmy ends up vowing to never be in the bottom again. So I was like, okay, Kimmy, we'll see. All right. Jada says she's still happy to be in the competition. Because Jada's been in the bottom so far 2 times, but she slayed her way, to staying. So Vivian really wanted to win Snatch Game. I was like, Vivian Vanderpuss is kind of getting the Jan edit from season 12, which is one of the best seasons in my opinion of RuPaul's Drag Race, and All Star 6. So I was like, ooh, Vivian, I don't know what to tell you, girl. Just keep your head in the game, and maybe keep your mouth shut, because you're getting the Jan edit right now. The girls congratulate Giselle for winning Snatch Game, so I did like that. So then, I also wanted to bring up the fact that Brooke Lynn, first of all, I don't know why I didn't bring this up in the beginning. Brooke Lynn, do I even have that picture up? Let me pull this picture up of Brooke Lynn. Give me a second, because I'm working with OBS. Okay, here we go. Let me show you Brooke Lynn, because Brooke Lynn was giving all types of Barbie, like Barbie going to Hollywood. I thought Brooke Lynn looked amazing this episode. I love this look. I love this hair. I love the pink. I love this. So this was the outfit she entered in, in terms of the episode, but this is also the outfit she ended up judging in towards the end of the episode. So I thought she looked good. And the competition is getting fierce, you guys. Half the girls are gone, believe it or not. We're on episode 6, so I think we started out with how many? 14? And we're down to 7, alright? Maybe we started out with 12, 14, now we're down to 7. So I was like, ooh, the competition is getting fierce, you guys. So we start out a new day in the workroom, alright, with the remaining girls. And everyone surprisingly thought that Lady Boom Boom was going to go further in the competition. I could see that, but you guys know, if you've been following these reviews, I've always said that while I love Lady Boom Boom, I love all these girls in this competition, to be honest. There's not really one that I don't like here. But, while I love Lady Boom Boom, I always said she's a little... Ooh, child. I always said that Lady Boom Boom was just a little bit delusional. And to me, that kind of, worked against her at times, So, that was a Snatch Game episode. So, while I was like, okay, I could see that, but, I didn't think Lady Boom Boom wasn't in my top 4, though, which we'll get into this in the end here. Jada thinks the girls don't see her as competition. She brings that up. So it seems like she's starting to get her head in the game and really start to observe. I'm wondering what her zodiac sign is. Is she a Scorpio? Because that was giving Scorpio vibes. Bombae starts questioning herself because she's gotten no wins so far. And it's interesting because Bombae was in her head throughout this entire episode, which did not work in her favor. So then anyways, RuPaul appears with another soliloquy, another riddle for us to solve and figure out what exactly is she talking about. And then Tracy Melchior appears, who I love. I love Tracy's energy. Tracy explains that the mini challenge is picture day. And the girls get in groups to work out a family dynamic with one another. And then the girls get in quick drag, and then they get with a photographer to take a picture in their groups. Alright, and then I guess they have some sort of theme, that they kind of have to improv. Vivian Vanderpuss, Kimmy Couture, and Miss Fiercalicious get Season's Greetings holiday card. Bombae and Irma Gerd get postcard from Tropical Vacation. And Gisèle Lullaby and Jada Shada Hudson get the Celebrating Growing Family. Get the Celebrating Growing Family postcard. So let's start with the group with Vivian, Kimmy, and Miss Fiercalicious. I thought all the girls here held their own in terms of their characters. Vivian was kind of, trying to take over the show. And at times it worked, at times it just felt a little forced. And you guys know I've been saying I love Vivian since the beginning. But, I don't know. Vivian's she gave me heavy Jan energy this episode, to be honest with you. Vivian did, okay? Vivian was doing Tammy Faye all over again in this mini challenge. But Kimmy and Fierce were good compliments, alright, to Vivian. Let's get to Bombae and Irma. I thought they were kind of corny. They weren't my favorite by any means. But they were cute, not much to say about that. Lastly was Gisèle Lullaby and Jada Shada Hudson. These were my absolute two favorites. I thought they were really funny. I thought this was the best one. It was very theatrical, and I initially, to be honest with you, thought that Jada was going to be the man, because they kind of alluded basically to the fact that they were going to do this whole situation. But I thought Jada was going to end up being the man, and Gisèle was going to end up being the woman. So when they came out, I was like, oh, okay. But they ended up being really funny. And they ended up winning, which I totally agreed. Or actually, Jada specifically won this mini challenge, which I definitely agree. I thought they were going to be the whole group was going to win, but Jada ended up winning the mini challenge. So I was like, I definitely agree with that. I thought they were absolutely funny, and I thought Jada really stole the show here. And I also thought this was the best picture, to be honest, because these were all the pictures that they actually took, alright, that I just showed you. So, alright, the Maxi Challenge, Tracy lets us know that the Maxi Challenge is where the girls design their own eyeshadow palettes. Ooh, y'all know I was excited about this, because y'all know I love me some makeup. Y'all know I do my own beats, alright, and honey, By the way, new wig, who dis, alright? Yes, I know I have a new wig this week, alright? So, the girls have to design their own eyeshadow palette. They have to pick colors that represent their aesthetic and their brand, and then they have to film a commercial and name their palette. So I was like, this is right up my alley. This is marketing. This is advertising. This is what I love. So I was very excited about this. Tracy mentions that this challenge is also meant to show off their makeup skills as well. So I was like, ooh, this is going to be really fun to just, kind of sit and watch and see what everyone does. And because, it's not just about makeup. It's also about, are you good at marketing? Are you good at advertising? Do you know your brand and all things of this nature? So, Fierce says she's a social media girl and she's been in a commercial before, so she's got this in the bag. I was like, okay, girl, we'll see. Irma Gerd tries to help Bombae with her conceptions, and Irma does give Bombae some good advice and telling her to remember who you are at the end of the day, So it's like, okay, Irma coming through with the wisdom. Bombae changes her idea at the last minute. I'm very nervous for her because for some reason, Bombae was just in her head this whole episode. All right, so let's get into these commercials. So the first one was Vivian Vanderpuss, and her eyeshadow palette was called Cat Mom because she loves cats. And I thought this commercial was fine. She called the colors weird names, I don't even remember what the names were, but they were pretty funny. It was fun. It was Vivian. There were some really quirky jokes in there, and it was just very quirky, just very Vivian. I thought it was cute. All right. Gisèle's was called, hold on, I think it's actually on the picture. Gisèle's was called WTF, was that French? I put no next to her name. I did not like this concept. The whole concept was like, it was, I don't know if it was connected to Quebec or it was just like, it was very, once again, and I've been saying this, it was very French centric, like humor, like, where I didn't get it, and it didn't really tell us a lot about, who Gisèle was either in general, which is something the judges mentioned. So this was not one of my favorites at all. I did not like this by Gisèle. All right. Next was Bombae. Bombae's eyeshadow palette, she named it Butter Chicken, which is interesting because I am starving right now, and I don't even know if I've had butter chicken or what butter chicken would even taste like, but I feel like butter chicken would be delicious right now because I am hungry. I thought it was funny. She was kind of making fun of her like ethnicity and like the stereotypes of it, which was like, okay, but it didn't connect, like the humor didn't connect to her brand or the colors. I was like, butter chicken, why would butter chicken be connected to blue, red, green, white, black, or yellow, any of these colors, to be honest? I could maybe see yellow, but I was just like, I didn't like this either by Bombae, and y'all know I've been just loving Bombae, up until this episode for some reason. Next is Kimmy. Alright. Next is Kimmy Couture. She named hers Transcending, kind of playing off the fact that she's transgender, and it's meant to help you live your trans fantasy. I thought it was cute, it was simple, and it was very much to the point. Alright. I liked it, alright? I liked it. I had no problems with Kimmy, or this commercial. After Kimmy was Irma Gerd, and Irma's eyeshadow palette was called Snot Rocket. I thought Irma's was fine. It was a bit boring, to be honest, and it wasn't enticing, and I don't know, it didn't really tell me much about Irma or her brand, except a little bit, a bit into her sense of humor, which is kind of, similar to Bombae and Gisèle, which ended up being their downfall. All right. After Irma was Fiercalicious, and of course she named her palette Fierce by Fiercalicious. I thought it was very on brand. I thought, Fiercalicious did good, really good. I thought it was really fun, and I loved that she threw a little shade at herself at the end, because she was saying there was like a night, I guess there was a night and day, like the top was like more day, the bottom was like more night, and the nighttime was like, meant to give you a little drama, and she was like at the end, who doesn't love a little drama, and I thought that was cute, because, she's been giving drama the whole season, so I was like, I love that. This was one of my favorites, Fiercalicious, to be honest with you. However, my absolute favorite ended up being, the last one that we're going to talk about here. My personal favorite was Jada Shada Hudson's, and it was called the Turn Up palette, alright? Because she brands herself as the Turn Up Queen. So I love this. I love this concept. This was my favorite, and it was very true to her. It was very funny, very on brand. I mean, there weren't any awkward moments, and I loved her eyeshadow. And the picture that came out from this ended up being amazing. So, in my personal, opinion, Irma, or no, I'm sorry, Fiercalicious, Jada Shada Hudson, and I'll throw Kimmy in there. Kimmy Couture were the tops, in this whole commercial challenge. So those are my favorites. My personal favorite was Jada Shada Hudson, and Fierce ended up actually winning the Maxi Challenge. All right, which we'll get into later. So it ended up being Fiercalicious who won, which I agreed with, but we'll have to get to this runway, which I think the runway solidified her win even more. All right, really. So let's get into, bring it to the runway. Runway. runway, runway. Bring it to the runway, bring it to the runway. Let's go. Bring it to the runway. Let's see what these girls brought to the runway, honey. Oops, wrong button. I know you wanna work. I know you wanna work. I know you wanna work. I love the new like runway theme from RuPaul. Alright, so let's get into the runway. First up is Miss Vivian Vanderpuss. And by the way, the runway category for this week is paint. Alright, paint, paint, paint. So let's see. Miss Vivian Vanderpuss is first. And Miss Vivian gave a literal take. Although she did have a reveal. The paint sticks in her back, she took them out. And then, like, you know, a cascade of different colors of fabric kind of fell down. Which I did like that. I thought this was fine. I did like that reveal, though. And I just kind of thought this was a literal take, you know. Although the reveal kind of, you know, saved it from just being a little bit boring, you know. And I did like the interior of the dress, her showing the interior of the dress. I just maybe wish maybe the exterior were a bit, like, you know, painted or something like that. Maybe that would have, like, you know, I don't know, done more for me. But I thought this was fine. After Vivian was Irma Gerd. And for Irma, I wrote down Uncle Sam. When she first came out, I thought this was giving a little bit of Uncle Sam or Aunt Sam. I liked the concept. You know, I really did like the concept. Half her body was meant to be already colored. The other half was meant to be like, you know, like paint it yourself, kind of draw it in. You know how, like, you know, coloring books. So I like this. I wish maybe, like, I don't know, the breast, like, maybe, like, it was, like, really center. I don't know. It just kind of, like, there was something about the execution that was just, like, a little, like, off to, I don't know, there was, like, something a little off. But I liked it. Like, I really did like it. You know, once again, you know, the best Irma has looked. And even the judges mentioned that, you know, this is your best look thus far. Although I did like her look last week. I do love the creativity and conceptualness of this look. You guys know I'm a creative, conceptual queen. You know, at least in my head I am, right? So, next is Bombae. And when Bombae came out, she kind of, like, you know, put her hands in the air and a cloud of dust, you know, a red dust kind of, you know, flew. I like that gag. I thought the outfit and the makeup was a little meh. I think it was connected once again to her culture. But just the execution of it was not my favorite. You know, it just looked like, I don't know, it wasn't clean enough for me, maybe. And then she took the glasses off, and, you know, it was like her face was painted except for her eyes. I just didn't get the concept fully, and this was just not my favorite look from Bombae, to be honest with you. Alright, so I didn't really like this look. After Bombae was Jada Shada Hudson. I really like this look. I love this concept. The molds on her dress were meant to be like blackface molds, like painted faces, meant to represent her culture, you know, and her black culture and dark skin culture, to be specific. You know, kind of almost like, you know, speaking out about colorism, which actually got Tracy a little bit, you know, in her feelings, because, you know, Tracy's all, you know, the only black what's the word I want to use, judge on the panel of, you know, Canada's Drag Race. So she was like, I got it immediately when you came out, you know, and it touched me. So I like this look a lot from Jada. After Jada Shada Hudson was, and this one surprised me, Gisèle Lullaby. This was my favorite. And bitch, when Gisèle came out in this look, I was like, Giselle's giving winner of the season tease. Giselle's giving winner of the season tease. Last week with the Snatch game, and then with this look, I was like, she is giving winner of the season tease. Giselle's in my top 2, I think. You know, I don't know. There's something about this episode that just kind of like, I just feel like, and I don't know. Now we'll get into something in a bit later, where, I had someone in my top 4 that, ended up getting the boot, alright, so I'm like, I could be wrong. You guys know I'm a psychic, so, I don't know, when she came out in this, I was like, this is giving winter tease, like, definitely top 2, alright, top 3. So I really like this look. This was my favorite out of the whole runway. This was my favorite. It was giving Picasso pop art, alright? Like, live, in person in color. I love this. Once again, very conceptual. I lived for it. So this was my favorite by Gisèle, to be honest with you. However, my second favorite was Mirror's Fiercalicious. Now, Mirror's Fiercalicious came out as a painting brought to life. I don't know the specific painting this references. I'm not sure if this is specifically Canadian, or if this is just like might just be a very famous painting, probably. Probably would recognize it if I saw it. But either way, I love this, and this was another favorite of mine. Very conceptual, and I did not expect conceptual from Mirror's Fiercalicious, so I was like, ooh. Once again, Mirror's Fiercalicious is solidifying her top 4 status. I definitely had Mirror's Fiercalicious as, being in the top 4. I'm going to have to revise my top 4 by the end of this review, you guys. But Mirror's Fiercalicious, I was like, top 4. Chef's kiss. I love this. So, the competition is getting fierce, so we need to start thinking this way. Who's in the top? Who's, what's it going to be? So, I love this from Mirror's Fiercalicious. I was like, bitch, you better work, okay? So then after Mirror's Fiercalicious, lastly was Kimmy Couture. And I just put no. It kind of, was similar to Vivian Vanderpuss, although I liked, out of the two, I liked Vivian's way more than Kimmy's. They both had like the painter's palette on the head as like the headpiece. I didn't like her makeup either. Kimmy's makeup here. Didn't like the outfit. Didn't like this from Kimmy. So out of the runway, my favorites were Mirror's Fiercalicious and Gisèle Lullaby's top 2. And I'll throw Jada in there as, another favorite of mine. Alright? So, as we know, we find out that Mirror's Fiercalicious, because the girls, end up getting on the runway and being judged. We find out that Mirror's Fiercalicious ends up winning the Maxi Challenge for the commercial, which I agreed. I thought, once again, out of all of them, aside from Jada, hers was very on brand, and she understood her brand well. She did, very well in terms of the, directing and being directed by, directing herself and being directed by Tracy. And her commercial came out really good. So I was like, I agree. I agree. I think this is what Mirror's Fiercalicious' first win. I'm not sure. But I was like, okay, Miss Fierce. I love that. So we find out that Miss Irma Gerd, Bombae, and Gisèle Lullaby are in the bottom. Which I agree with, because out of all the girls' commercials, those were my least favorite. I did once again, I did not understand Irma's or Bombae's or Gisèle's, and it didn't really tell me much about their brands, other than, they have a sense of humor, right? However, Gisèle Lullaby ends up being safe, and once again, I think it was her outfit that saved her. Once again, remember she came out with this, and I was like, winter tease, Gisèle's, this is her first time in the bottom, I believe, so, I've never seen her lip sync, I don't think, so. But when she came out with this, I was like, child, they're not going to send you home on this outfit, because this outfit slayed. So she ends up being safe, and it ends up being Irma Gerd versus Bombae. And the lip sync song that they lip sync to is Table Dancer by Keisha Shantae. Bombae, I like both these girls. Bombae, I favor a bit more, and I had high expectations for, but she really did not serve it in this lip sync at all, and I was really surprised by it. Irma Gerd slayed. offbeat and all, you know. She slayed. Alright, Irma completely slayed. I liked the song. It was my first time hearing the song. Irma was in control of herself. Irma was in control of her character. Irma was in control of her moves. Now, while Irma slayed, Bombae was delayed. Alright, and Bombae was very frantic. The moves were very, kind of like, just kind of like all over the place. She did a crunchy, death drop, and it was just like, but Irma was kind of, in rhythm and in the flow, and was, going with the words and kind of feeling herself. So I was like, very surprised. Irma ended up winning the lip sync, and Bombae ended up going home. You guys, literally last week on episode 5, I was naming my top 4. And I'm pretty sure my top 4 was Jada Shada Hudson. Or was it? I don't remember. I'm pretty sure my top 4 was Bombae, Jada Shada Hudson, Fiercalicious, and it might have been Kimmy. I think. Or Gisèle. In that top 4. I don't remember. I'm going to have to go and look back. But Bombae, I was like, I thought was going to go far. Child, she ended up, just completely bombarding that lip sync, and it just did not go in her favor. So, who's my top 4 now? I still think Jada is going to be in the top 4. I still think Fierce is going to be in the top 4. I think this episode, Gisèle solidified her place in the top 4. The last place might be Kimmy. Out of all the other girls, I think that might be my top 4. Kimmy, Fierce, Gisèle, and Jada. Alright? With Irma and Vivian as the last 2 standing. Competition is getting fierce, y'all. Alright? Episode 7 is going to come out later today or later tonight. So that'll be coming out soon. But I was shook. I was like, I can't believe Bombae went home and Irma sent Bombae home. Never underestimate a girl in the lip sync, alright? Alright, you guys, I love you. Thank you for listening and watching. I will see you in the next video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And comment below. Love and light.